What's going on, you guys? Slim back here with a new video today, and for today, you guys, I have the top 10 decks that you will be able to play Pot of Disparity in and why you should actually play it in those decks. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You guys will be notified whenever I upload. You'll also be notified when I stream over on Twitch. Link is in the description. While you guys are in the description, consider joining my Discord server. We have a really wholesome community that's growing over there every day. It's really just awesome to hang out with you guys, and a lot of times bring you guys onto my streams. If you guys want to purchase any of the cards or invest in any of the decks that I talk about, and I always suggest that you guys do, use that TCG player link also in the description below. A portion of what you spend goes back to the channel. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. And last but not least, if you want to further support me and the channel, consider becoming a channel member or joining my Patreon. With all that out of the way, you guys, Pot of Disparity, everyone's been talking about it. It is the best card coming out in Blazing Vortex. It's just no contest. It's generic support for a plethora of decks, and I have a list of 10. Normally I do a list of 5. I couldn't justify 5. I literally could not justify 5, so we're going to do 10 today. I'm going to try to make it as fast as possible, just spend a little bit of time on each deck, and just tell you guys why I feel Pot of Disparity makes this, or Pot of Prosperity. You know, the name changed. It was Disparity, it's Prosperity now. Why it's so good. If you guys don't know what Pot of Prosperity does, banish 3 or 6 cards from your choice, face down from your extra deck, then you excavate that many cards, you add 1 to your hand. For the rest of the turn, you can't draw cards by effects, and you also battle damages have, whatever. Okay, I'll be honest, I think the battle damage having thing was a little much. We already got the restriction that Extrav has, but it is what it is. Anyways, I want to get into this list. The first deck I'm going to mention, though, isn't part of the top 10. I just want to mention it real quick. Everyone, including MCole40 especially, is talking about Zephyra. I know nothing about Zephyra, but we'll put it on here as an honorable mention because apparently it's really, really good with Pot of Prosperity. If you guys want to see that, go check out his channel. You guys will learn about why it's so good in that deck. But I wanted to mention it because I felt like if I forgot it, you guys mentioned it in the comments. I'm going to let you guys know I'm not going to remember every deck, so just remember that. But anyways, the first deck I have is Altergeist. You shouldn't be surprised. These first couple decks kind of all fall into the same category. Now, that deck has benefited from Pot of Extra. It can also benefit from Pot of Prosperity. The reason is your extra deck will not have to be as linear, meaning that you will have more room. And you're going to notice this is a common trend in these decks. You can actually play other cards and not worry about banishing them off Extra. I think the high selling point for this card, for me especially, and I'm sure a lot of you players out there, is that you get to choose the cards in your extra deck. That's detrimental to your strategy. That way you're not just running a random gamble of banishing all copies of something you need, or playing like 2 copies of something and it being gone. You can just play 1 of cards you need, 3 of cards that are important, and just banish depending on what your situation is. You don't even have to banish 6. You always can banish 3 to excavate 3 and get a Pot of Duality effect, so it is pretty cool. Another huge advantage to Prosperity over Duality, you're not locked out of your special summoning, so it's really, really good. I think Altergeist will benefit from this. They're just getting an extra trap card, getting to that multi-faker, getting to hand traps after they've already done their plays is just so powerful. How could the deck not benefit from that? So of course I've got Altergeist. Next I've got a personal favorite, Subterrane. I mean, it's the same thing. Now I've heard people say that they wanna add Duality and Prosperity into the deck because they actually do not conflict. Since you're not drawing off Duality, you're excavating as well. I haven't tested it yet, but that'll be something we'll probably test in the future. Now, Subterrane is pretty much the same thing as Altergeist. You just need to dig for the pieces. You just need to dig for your hidden city, dig for your guru, dig for whatever you're missing, dig for that extra hand trap, that extra trap that solidifies the game, dig for that solemn judgment that just says no to your opponent. There's so many advantages to playing it in decks like Altergeist and Subterrane. Personally, I prefer Subterrane. I think the deck is going to be get a little bit better with this. Do I think it'll make the deck insane? Probably not, but it will add to consistency, and that's what this card really does. So I really think Subterrane is going to benefit from it. Similar to Altergeist, I had to mention them first because, again, they do fall into that same category. Just very, very strong like trapped decks that are going to benefit from next. Next, I have a deck that I know for sure is going to benefit from this card because they already, similar to Geist, similar to Subterrane, they're going to benefit from using, they benefited from using Extra, they're going to benefit from Prosperity, and that's actually Dinosaurs. Shout out to my roommate, Gio. Literally, we practiced this on stream, like literally, and saw just how powerful it was. Dig 6 cards to guarantee a miscellaneous Ceratosaurus. I mean, what more can I say? Dig 6 cards to get your combos going. Dig 6 cards for more cards. Like, it's crazy, you guys. I think it's amazing in Dinosaurs. Your extra deck is pretty, like, you know, you can do a lot with your extra deck. However, you won't have to play, like, 3 copies of that, 3 copies of that. You can actually play, like, more important, like, Link Monsters, more important XYZs, because that deck can play Dweller, Logia, Dolka, etc. You won't have to bog your extra deck down with extra copies just so you're running the gamble of banishing them off of Extrav. With this, you literally can just pick and choose, and you can either do for 3 or for 6 and just dig for that card you need. I think Dinosaurs, they already have so much consistency with Fossil Dig, Miscellaneous Aerosaurus. Fossil Dig isn't once per turn for some reason. I just have to mention that every time I talk about dinos because, you know, it's just ridiculous. But I think with this card's release, dinos are going to get even better. They're already consistent. They're already powerful with what they do. This card just adds to their consistency. I had to put dinos on the list. Next, I actually have Prank Kids. Now, I actually heard this from the mouth of a Prank Kids player. I personally do not know the deck as well as some of these Prank Kids players, so I'm going off of what they said. They talked about how this card is great. You don't want to play a card like Desires. You obviously cannot play a card like Extrav in this deck. Prank Kids are pretty consistent for the fact that you have the 12 one-card starters, but why not add a card that literally can just help you dig 6 cards deeper, 3 cards deeper, depending on what you choose to banish, to just guarantee your combos going off, guarantee an extra hand trap. I think digging for an extra hand trap is worth so much in this game, and at the fact that you get to just pick and choose out of your extra deck, just get rid of the cards you don't need for the current situation. Prank Kids is already insane. We've already seen the damage it has done this format, and like I said, one-card combos, it's just crazy. I think the deck is going to continue to benefit from this card. It'll add to its consistency, and I think we're going to see more players playing it in Prank Kids because the fact that you can just dig for extra cards, you can even dig for those one-ofs that you need, like Instant Fusion, stuff like that. You're definitely going to see a resurgence, I think. Look, we're already starting to see a resurgence of Prank Kids. I just think it'll be awesome to see what that deck will do with Prosperity in their arsenal of cards. I think just being able to dig, like I said, for extra resources is super important, and this deck is just very, very good at that already, so the fact that you'll just add more consistency is amazing. So I got Prank Kids out there. Next, I have a personal favorite, Dogmatica. Now, you guys are probably wondering which version of Dogmatica. Honestly, it could be Invoke Dogmatica, it could be any kind of Dogmatica. The reason why I say this is that while our extra deck matters for what we send off of Nadir's Servant or what we send off of Punishment, you could pick and choose. If we're playing the Invoked engine, we can get rid of other Link monsters we don't need. If we have the room, we have the flexibility. We never played Extrav, we have played Desires. Problem with Desires, I love Desires. I love that card. The problem is, sometimes you can banish away your key pieces. Guess what? You're not going to do that with this card. You're not locked out of special summoning. The only thing that matters is literally the half damage, but you're not really doing this for OTK. You're doing this for setup, for your consistency, to stop your opponent. You set up your turn with this card. I think the card is actually really good. I actually did test it in Dogmatica Invoked, actually on stream, and I was quite impressed with what it could do. While people may think, why would you play this? Like, think about it. We don't really have a good generic draw card outside of Desires, and Desires, again, requires us to mess with our ratios. It requires us to just take a gamble of banishing key pieces or making certain plays and saving Desires for last. With Prosperity, you can just shotgun the Prosperity and literally just go with it, and I really like that in this deck. We need that added oomph to be able to get to more cards, see more resources, and be able to just out-advantage the opponent. That's exactly what this card does. So I think Dogmatica, the way it's designed, will actually work quite well with Prosperity. Again, extra deck will be a little more flexible because you won't have to ever bog your extra deck down with 3 copies of anything really in this deck. So your 2 of copies of this, 2 of copies of that are actually going to be flexible and expendable when playing a card like Prosperity. And again, you could choose to banish 3 or 6. So I think it has a lot of flexibility, and I think a lot of decks will benefit from trying this out. And I think Dogmatica will definitely be one of those engines. So I had to include it there. Next, I've got Virtual World. Again, this deck doesn't play 3 of anything. It doesn't play Extrav. It does play Desires. Now, will this replace Desires for that deck? I don't know. Desires is amazing. You play 3 of everything, you just go for that +1. Now, while Prosperity isn't a +1, the fact that I can dig to see my pieces is super important. I have seen players test this online. I don't know how strong it is, but definitely test it out. I think the way Virtual World is, since it's designed with so many 3-ofs, your extra deck is pretty open outside of, playing your Calamities and all that. I think there's a lot of room for a card like this, and I think, again, it requires testing. I wanted to include it on this list, though, because the extra deck is not super detrimental. You just need to be able to guarantee a Calamities. And think about it, if this Prosperity is the difference between you getting to that play for Calamities and not, why would you not play it? So, of course, I had to include it. Next, I've got Eldritch. Now, this could be any version of Eldritch. Honestly, any of them. Zoo Eldritch, Pure Eldritch, Eldritch Dragoon, whatever. They played Extrav in the Dragoon variant. You took a gamble banishing your Dragoons. I know, highly unlikely you'll banish all 3, but still, if you did, that would kind of suck, right? So why not play a card that just lets you dig? You're going to notice that's the common trend of this video. I'm digging 3 or 6 cards deep to get to what I need. And honestly, you just benefit from this. What does Eldritch really care about its extra deck for? The only thing it cares about is if it's playing Dragoon, it cares about Dragoon. It maybe cares about a Link Spider or a Imduk that it'll turn the Conquistador or the Haquero into. Other than that, really doesn't care about any of their stuff, so it's just kind of in there as filler, and you can kind of just get rid of it and then just get more cards, get more advantage, and just completely out advantage your opponent. So when I say Eldritch, I'm talking about all Eldritch variants test it out in every variant, and you'll see if it's good or not. And again, we'll update this, as more testing is done. Next, of course, I got Unchained, the never-ending Pennywise floating deck. I saw that Coder, I saw that Barracks Bear, I saw all the players that played Extract. I'm pretty sure you can benefit from playing Prosperity. I'm going to say Prosperity. I'm going to change it throughout this whole video, literally. The fact that you had to play 3 of your extra deck cards could be kind of considered a problem, could be considered gambling with, you're going to banish them or not. But again, Prosperity gives you that flexibility to dig 3 or 6 cards. Your deck just floats forever, just endless floaters. The deck needs more consistency buffs, and I think this is a very strong one. I always include Unchained on these lists for a reason, because it's already made the budget list, it's already made the competitive budget list, it's made all those lists, it's checked all those boxes. I had to put it on this list because I feel that the deck deserves more attention, it deserves more support, it deserves more people playing it and representing it. It's a deck I might even invest in myself because I think it just needs more love, and I think that a card like this will help with any consistency issues that it already has, and it'll help you just have more tools in your extra deck, and you won't have to play 2 copies of Access Code Talker, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to drop 160 bucks on 2 copies of that. So that's neither here nor there. But yeah, shout out to Unchained. You're the best floating deck in the game. I think they'll definitely benefit from this. Next, I got Sky Striker, because Sky Striker is Sky Striker. Now, this was a weird one. I wasn't sure. I was talking to one of my friends about this, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, Desires can mess us up. Some decks don't even forego Desires because of that. We can just play Prosperity and decide, do we want to banish 3, do we want to banish 6, can we afford that, can we just dig that far? Think about it, you're playing 3 of all your links, plus 1 copy of, I think kinda 1 to 2 copies of Zeke, whatever it is. You got the room for flexibility, you got the room to dig. Why would you not play a card like this? It's just another spell card for your Sky Striker card. It just helps you dig for what you're missing. Like, if you can dig for multi-roll, wouldn't you do it? Like, I think it's really interesting what this card could bring for Sky Strikers. We saw its success at the Extravaganza. I kind of want to see if more people will actually mess with this card, and if it will be a replacement for Desires in the future, because it'll help you not have to gamble on your ratios just to get extra cards. You'll actually be able to dig for what you need, pick and choose from your extra deck, and not lose resources. And last but not least, I got Burn. Mystic Mind. I don't care. That's it. Nothing against those players, but I mean, yeah, the card's good for your deck, unfortunately, but I really don't have anything positive to say about it. But as a bonus, you guys already know, Pure Mech Knight, the best rogue deck of 2021, in my opinion. Probably just me and like 4 other people, but you guys already know. I gotta put Pure Mech Knight on here. That card is insane for our deck. I don't want to play an extra build of Mech Knight if I can pick and choose and have more arsenal and more tools in my extra deck. I'm all for this card for Pure Mech Knight. I think it's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. As soon as your boy gets those cards in hand, oh boy, we going to have one hell of a profile. But that is today's video, you guys. If you enjoyed, give it one of these. You guys have been killing it lately. I really do appreciate it. You guys really seem to like these kind of old school, I say old school, I'm old. These videos where I actually talk to you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy more in the future. If you guys actually want to see a video on my personal top 5 cards to pick up from Lightning Vortex, is that what Lightning Vortex is? Isn't that a, wait a minute, Blazing Vortex. Yeah, Lightning Vortex is a spell card. If you guys actually want to see that, comment that down below. Let me know your thoughts on decks that will benefit from the use of Pot of Prosperity. I think the card is amazing. Best card in the set. Let me know what decks I forgot, because I forgot a ton of them, but I'm sure there's plenty that you guys can mention in the comments below. If you're picking up that card, let me know and what deck you're playing it in, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll definitely talk about it more in future videos. But that's everything for today, you guys. Give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.